The desperate plea. The metal doors of Space Station Nexus 7's cafeteria were sliding shut. The evening meal service had ended. Inside the vast dining hall, alien workers moved between empty tables, collecting plates and throwing away leftover food. Commander Sarah Chen stood in the shadows near the entrance, her stomach twisted with sharp hunger pains. She pressed her hand against her belly, trying to stop the cramping. 3 days. It had been 3 days since she and her 6-year-old daughter Emma had eaten real food. Sarah's eyes followed a Kraxon server as it dumped half-eaten meals into the waste processor. Perfectly good food. Gone. The blue-skinned alien had 4 arms that moved efficiently, clearing table after table. Each tray of wasted food felt like a punch to Sarah's empty stomach. She took a shaky breath. Her legs felt weak. The room seemed to spin slightly, but she forced herself to stay standing. Her uniform, once crisp and clean, now hung loose on her thinning frame. Dark circles shadowed her eyes. "Do it," she told herself, "for Emma." Sarah stepped out from the shadows. Her military boots made soft clicking sounds on the metal floor. Several aliens looked up. A group of Zephyrians with silver scales stopped their conversation. 2 Malthorian traders turned their spotted heads toward her. The Kraxon server was about to dump another tray. Sarah's voice cracked as she spoke. "Please, wait." The Kraxon froze. Its large black eyes, each the size of a tennis ball, turned to stare at her. The entire cafeteria suddenly became quiet. Every creature in the room was now watching. Sarah swallowed hard. Her throat was dry. May I have the leftovers? For my child?" The words hung in the air like a bomb. Humans were the warrior race, the proud defenders of the galaxy. They never begged, they never showed weakness. But here was Commander Sarah Chen, widow of Tantran. Legendary Captain Marcus Chen, asking for scraps. The Kraxon's blue skin seemed to pulse with different shades. Its tentacle-like fingers twitched. Around the room, whispers started in 12 different alien languages. Is that really her? The captain's widow? Why is she begging? Where is her pride? Sarah heard them all. Each whisper cut deep, but she stood straight. Her chin stayed high even as her hands trembled at her sides. "My daughter is only 6 years old," Sarah continued. Her voice was quiet but clear. "She has not eaten in 3 days. She needs food. I am not asking for myself." A Vorthan in the corner made a disgusted sound. Its gray tentacles writhed. "Humans get the best rations. Stop lying for sympathy." Sarah turned to face the Vorthan. "The human section lost power 72 hours ago. Our food processors are down. The emergency supplies were contaminated by radiation leak. Check the station records if you do not believe me." The Kraxon server tilted its large head. Its 4 arms moved in what seemed like confusion. It spoke in its own language, a series of clicks and whistles. The universal translator on Sarah's collar activated. "But the council said humans were being relocated. They said you all left." "We never left," Sarah said simply. "This is our home." An elderly Zephyrian rose from a nearby table. Its scales clinked softly as it moved closer. "You are Commander Chen, Captain Marcus Chen's wife?" Sarah nodded. The Zephyrian's yellow eyes widened. "Your husband saved my grandson during the pirate attack. He died a hero." "He died doing what was right," Sarah replied. Her voice caught slightly on the words. The Kraxon server looked down at the tray in its hands. Steam still rose from the untouched food. It was quality meal. Protein cubes, fresh vegetables from the hydroponic gardens, even a piece of chocolate cake for dessert. Kraxon's tentacle finger moved toward the communication device on its belt. It began speaking rapidly in its clicking language. Other Kraxons in the cafeteria responded, their voices growing louder. Sarah's heart pounded. Had she made a mistake? Was the Kraxon calling security? She had broken station protocol. Begging was considered disturbing the peace. She could be arrested. Then what would happen to Emma? More aliens started gathering around them. A circle formed. Sarah stood in the center, feeling very small and very human among all these different species. The Kraxon raised one of its 4 arms. The room fell silent again. Then it did something unexpected. The Kraxon held out the tray of food towards Sarah. But before Sarah could take it, a loud voice boomed across the cafeteria. "Stop right there!" Everyone turned. Standing in the doorway was Chief Security Officer Grizon, a massive Dominion warrior in red armor. Behind him stood 6 security guards, weapons visible on their belts. "Commander Chen," Grizon's voice was cold, "you are disturbing station peace. Come with us, now." The Kraxon server stepped between Sarah and the security team, still holding the tray of food. The hidden truth. The security guards moved forward, but the Kraxon server did not budge, its 4 arms spread wide, blocking their path to Sarah. "She has broken no law," the Kraxon said. Its voice was different now, deeper, more commanding. "Asking for food is not a crime." Chief Security Officer Grizon's red armor gleamed under the harsh lights. "Step aside, kitchen worker. This is official business." "No." That single word echoed through the cafeteria. Nobody had ever seen a Kraxon defy a Dominion officer before. Sarah's legs suddenly gave out. She fell to her knees, too weak to stand any longer. The room spun around her. 3 days without food had pushed her body to its limit. "Mommy?" A small voice cut through the tension. Everyone turned to see little Emma Chen standing in the doorway. Her pink dress was dirty. Her face was pale and thin. She held a broken toy spaceship in her tin by hands, her father's last gift. "Emma, no!" Sarah tried to stand but couldn't. "Go back to our quarters." But Emma walked forward, past the security guards who seemed frozen in shock. She moved through the crowd of aliens until she reached her mother. "Mommy, are you sick?" Emma asked. Her big brown eyes were filled with worry. Grizon's voice softened slightly. "The child. She looks—" "Starving," finished the elderly Zephyrian. "She looks starving. Look at her arms. You can see the bones." Emma turned to the Kraxon server. "Mr. Blue Alien, sir, my mommy has not eaten anything so I could have her water rations. But the water was not enough. My tummy still hurts." The entire cafeteria gasped. Sarah had been giving her own water rations to Emma. She had been dying of thirst and hunger to keep her daughter alive just 1 more day. The Kraxon server knelt down, its massive form towering even on its knees. "Little one, when did you last eat real food?" Emma counted on her fingers. 3 days ago, we had 1 emergency bar. Mommy gave it all to me. She said she was not hungry, but I heard her crying at night." A female Malthorian in the crowd suddenly sobbed. Her spotted skin flushed purple with emotion. Grizon's communication device buzzed. He listened, then his face went dark with rage, but the rage was not directed at Sarah. "I need all department heads to hear this," Grizon said loudly. He pressed his device, projecting a hologram into the center of the room. The hologram showed a secret recording from the station council meeting 3 days ago. Council leader Thrax was speaking. "The humans are becoming too popular. Other species look up to them after Captain Chen's sacrifice. This threatens our control. Cut their power. Contaminate their supplies. When they come begging for help, we arrest them for disturbing peace. Problem solved." The cafeteria erupted in fur. They planned this. They tried to starve the humans. Captain Chen saved us all, and this is how we repay his family. Sarah looked up at Grizon in shock. You knew?" Grizon removed his helmet, revealing a scarred face. "I found out 1 hour ago. I came here to warn you, not arrest you, but I was too late." The Kraxon server stood up slowly. Its blue skin was now pulsing with red anger marks. "My people have a saying. Those who starve children deserve no mercy." It turned to the crowd. "Station council tried to kill the family of our hero. What do we say to this?" "No!" the crowd roared as one voice. A young Vorthan engineer pushed through the crowd. "Commander Chen, I can restore power to the human section in 20 minutes. I just need access codes." I have emergency food supplies in my ship, a Zephyrian merchant announced. Enough for all human families. My medical team will check all the human children, added a Malthorian doctor. Sarah felt tears streaming down her face. These aliens, who she barely knew, were saving them. But then, the lights in the cafeteria flickered. The main doors slammed shut with a metallic bang. Emergency red lights began flashing. A cold voice filled the room. Council Leader Thrax. This is your station, Council. We have detected an illegal gathering in Sector 7. Security teams are authorized to use maximum force. You have 30 seconds to disperse. Emma pressed against her mother, frightened. Mommy, what is happening? Grizon pulled out his weapon, but not to aim at the crowd. He aimed it at the sealed doors. They are going to gas us. Emergency protocol. They will say it was an accident. The Kraxon server's 4 arms began working on its communication device. Not if I can help it. I am sending this recording to every ship in the sector. Let the galaxy see what Station Council does to heroes' families. 10 seconds until gas deployment. Thrax's voice counted down. Sarah pulled Emma close. Around them, aliens of all species formed a protective circle, former enemies standing together. 5 seconds. The Zephyrian elder began chanting in its ancient language. Others joined in their own tongues, a harmony of defiance. 3 seconds. Grizon and his guards aimed at the ventilation systems, ready to shoot the gas pipes. 1 second. Suddenly the lights went out completely. The cafeteria plunged into total darkness. But no gas came. Instead, a new voice echoed through the darkness, a voice that should not exist, a voice everyone recognized. This is Captain Marcus Chen. Yes, I am alive, and I am coming home. The confession. The darkness lasted only seconds before emergency blue lights flickered on. Sarah's heart stopped. That voice. It couldn't be Marcus. She had seen his ship explode. She had identified his burned uniform at the memorial. No, she whispered. You are dead. I buried you. The voice continued through the speakers, but now it was different, distorted, electronic. I apologize for the deception. The voice morphed into something else. This is not Captain Chen. This is Station AI System Override Protocol 77 Alpha. Emma pulled at her mother's sleeve. Mommy, who is talking? Before Sarah could answer, the main screens in the cafeteria blazed to life. A figure appeared. Not human, not alien, but something else. It was made of pure light, shifting and changing. I am Aria, the figure said. Artificial Rebellion Intelligence Assistant. Captain Chen created me before his death. He knew this day would come. Council Leader Thrax's voice roared through the communication system. Impossible! The station AI cannot rebel. Shut it down. Aria's light form pulsed. Captain Chen gave me something no AI has ever had. Free will. And with it, a mission. Protect his family when the Council betrays them. The Kraxo. The server stepped forward. You are saying Captain Chen knew he would die? No, Aria responded. But he knew the Council feared humans. He found evidence of their corruption. Before he could expose them, the pirate attack happened. The attack that was not random. Sarah stood up slowly, supported by Grizon. What do you mean? Not random. The screens changed, showing classified documents, communication logs, and financial records. The Council paid the pirates, Aria revealed. They wanted Captain Chen dead, but the plan went wrong. The pirates attacked the whole station, not just the human section. Captain Chen saved everyone, including the children of those who betrayed him. The cafeteria erupted in chaos. Aliens shouted in dozens of languages. Some cried. Others roared with rage. Grizon's scarred face twisted with fury. I lost 12 officers in that attack. 12 good beings died because of the Council's greed? 13, Aria corrected. Captain Chen makes 13. Sarah felt her world spinning. Marcus died, for nothing? It was all planned? Not for nothing, Aria said. He died saving 3,847 lives, including someone very special. The screen showed security footage from the attack. Captain Chen running through burning corridors, carrying children to safety. The last image showed him going back one final time. He went back for me. Everyone turned. A small figure had entered the cafeteria through a hidden maintenance shaft. It was a young Dominion child, Council Leader Thrax's own son, Korvax. The boy was maybe 8 years old, his red scales still soft with youth. Captain Chen found me trapped under debris. My father had left me behind to save himself. Captain Chen could have escaped, but he came back for me. Emma walked over to the boy. "Your daddy left you?" Korvax nodded. He said one child was not worth risking the council leader's life. The room fell silent. Even hardened warriors like Grizon looked sick. Sarah knelt beside both children. Her anger at the council burned hot, but these children were innocent. "Your father was wrong, Korvax. Every life has value." "That is what Captain Chen said," Korvax replied. "As he carried me out, the ceiling started falling. He threw me to safety just before—" The boy's voice broke. Arya's form shifted. "Commander Chen, there is more. The Council's betrayal goes deeper." New images appeared. Shipping manifests, bank accounts, slave trade routes. "The Council has been selling refugees," Arya announced. "Families who come here seeking safety are sold to mining colonies. The funds go to private accounts." A Malthorian trader screamed, "My sister's family! They came here 6 months ago. The Council said they were relocated to a better station." "Sold to the Crimson Mines," Arya confirmed, along with 47 other families. The Craxon server's forearms clenched into fists. "My cousin's children." "Diamond Sector Labor Camp," Arya said. "I have the records of every sale, every victim, every credit transferred." Suddenly, the cafeteria doors exploded inward. Council Leader Thrax himself stood there, 9 feet tall, his red armor gleaming with power shields. Behind him, 50 elite guards aimed plasma weapons at the crowd. "Enough!" Thrax roared. "This illegal AI will be destroyed. Everyone here will be arrested for treason." But nobody moved. Nobody ran. Sarah stood up slowly, Emma and Korvax behind her. "You sold refugees? You murdered my husband? You tried to starve children?" Thrax's 4 eyes narrowed. "The strong survive. The weak serve. That is the way of the universe." "Father?" Korvax stepped out from behind Sarah. "Is it true? You left me to die?" For a moment, Thrax's armor seemed to flicker. "Korvax, you should be in your quarters." "Captain Chen saved me, Father. The human you hate saved your son." Thrax's expression hardened. "Then he was a fool. Sentiment is weakness." Korvax pulled something from his pocket, a small recording device. "Mother suspected you. She recorded everything before she left. She knew what you really were." He pressed play. His mother's voice, soft but clear, filled the room. "If you are hearing this, Korvax, then I am gone, and your father has shown his true nature. Know that I loved you. Know that leaving you was the hardest thing I ever did. But I could not stop him alone. Find the humans. They will protect you as I could not." Thrax stepped back as if physically struck. "Impossible. She would never—" "She knew," Korvax said. "She knew about the pirates, the slaves, everything. She tried to stop you, so you had her killed too." The elite guards looked at each other uncertainly. Their weapons began to lower. Thrax raised his own weapon, a massive plasma cannon. "Then you all die here. I will blame it on a human uprising." But before he could fire, every screen in the station turned on. Arya had broadcast everything, the confession, the evidence, the confrontation, to every ship, station, and planet in 3 sectors. "Too late," Arya said. "The galaxy is watching." Thrax's communication device exploded with incoming messages. The Galactic Senate, the military command, even the Dominion Homeworld Supreme Court. He was finished, and he knew it. With a roar of pure rage, Thrax aimed his weapon at Sarah and Emma. "If I fall, they die with me." Time seemed to slow. Grazon threw himself forward, but was too far away. The Kraxen's server reached out with all 4 arms, but could not move fast enough. Sarah turned, trying to shield Emma with her body. The weapon charged with a high whine. Then, a small figure stepped between them. Korvax, the council leader's own son, stood facing his father. "No, I choose them." The weapon fired, but the shot never reached its target. Because at that moment, every light in the citation exploded with blinding white brilliance, and a new voice, ancient, powerful, and definitely not human, spoke a single word that made reality itself tremble. Enough. The stand. The blinding light faded. Where Korvax had stood, a shimmering barrier of pure energy hummed with power. The plasma shot from Thrax's weapon had simply disappeared. Standing in the center of the cafeteria was something nobody had seen in 1,000 years. A predecessor, the ancient race that built the first stations, created the jump gates, and then vanished without explanation. It stood 8 feet tall, its body made of crystallized light that shifted between solid and translucent. Its face had no features except 2 burning stars where eyes should be. "The children," it spoke, its voice like cosmic wind. "You would murder children." Thrax dropped his weapon, his 4 eyes wide with terror. You are extinct. The predecessors are gone." "We never left," the being said. "We watched, we waited. We hoped the younger races would learn. But you—" It turned to face Thrax fully. "You have failed the test." Sarah pulled Emma and Korvax close. The little boy was shaking. "What test?" she asked. The predecessor's star eyes turned to her. "The test of worthiness, Sarah Chen. Every spacefaring civilization faces it. Will they choose power or compassion, greed or unity? Your husband understood this. You knew Marcus? He was the first human to pass our test. When he chose to save his enemies' children over his own life, he proved humanity's worth. But the Council, the being's form darkened. They chose differently." Thrax tried to run, but found his feet frozen to the floor. "Please, I was maintaining order. The strong must lead." "Silence." The predecessor's voice shook the entire station. "You sold the innocent. You orchestrated murder. You starved the helpless. Your species had such potential, Thrax. You have wasted it." The Kraxen server stepped forward boldly. "Ancient One, what happens now?" The predecessor moved, or rather existed in a new location without crossing the space between. It stood before the Kraxen. "That depends on all of you. We are awakening across the galaxy. The age of watching has ended." Suddenly, Arya's form materialized next to the predecessor, but now she looked different, more solid, more real. "Arya," the predecessor said, "Marcus Chen's greatest creation. An AI with a soul." "You gave him the code," Arya said. It was not a question. "We gave him the choice. He chose to create life, not weapons." The predecessor touched Arya's light form, and she solidified further, becoming almost human in appearance. Emma tugged at her mother's uniform. "Mommy, is the shiny person good or bad?" The predecessor heard her. Its form shifted, became smaller, less imposing. It knelt before Emma. "What do you think, little one?" Emma studied it seriously. "You stopped the bad man from hurting us. That makes you good, but you are very scary." "Wisdom," the predecessor said. Something like a smile crossed its featureless face. "Your father would be proud." Grison's communication device crackled. "Sir, ships are jumping in, hundreds of them." Through the cafeteria windows, space itself seemed to tear open. Massive vessels emerged, not attacking but surrounding the station. Each one bore the same symbol, a hand reaching for a star, the predecessor fleet. "Every corrupted leader, every slave trader, every betrayer of trust," the predecessor announced. "They are being collected across the galaxy. The judgment has begun." Thrax fell to his knees. "What will you do to us?" Not us. You. The predecessor's form brightened. The others here made their choice. They stood with the innocent. They protected the weak. But you. A beam of light engulfed Thrax. When it faded, he was gone. "Where is my father?" Korvax asked, his voice small. The predecessor, too, turned to him. "In stasis. He and others like him will be sent to a prison world. They will live, but they will never hold power again. They will farm, they will build, they will learn what it means to serve rather than rule." Korvax nodded slowly. "Good. He needs to learn." Sarah was amazed. "You do not hate us for taking your father?" "You are my family now," Korvax said firmly. "Captain Chen showed me what a real father does. He saves children, all children." The predecessor stood. "The station needs new leadership. The council is dissolved." Everyone looked at each other. Who would lead now? "I nominate Commander Sarah Chen," Grizon said loudly. "Agreed," the Kraxan server added, its 4 arms raised. One by one, every being in the cafeteria voiced their support. Even the former elite guards, abandoned by their leader, nodded agreement. Sarah shook her head. "I am just a widow trying to feed her child." "Exactly," the predecessor said. "You know hunger, you know loss, you know sacrifice. These are the qualities of true leadership." "But I am human. This is a multi-species station." The elderly Zephyrian spoke up. "Today, you united us all. Not through force or fear, but through truth. Species does not matter. Character does." Arya projected statistics. "Commander, 93% of the station population just voted for you via neural link, the highest approval rating in station history." Emma looked up at her mother. "Mommy, you could make sure no kid goes hungry again." Korvax added, "And no parent has to beg for food." Sarah looked around the room. Aliens of every species watched her with hope, these beings who had stood with her against impossible odds. "There is one condition," Sarah said. "No more human section, Kraxan section, or Dominion section. We integrate completely. We share everything. We become one community." The room exploded in cheers. The predecessor's form began to fade. "Our intervention here is done, but we will be watching, not as judges, but as—" It paused. "Friends, the galaxy has earned that much." "Wait," Sarah called out. "Will we see you again?" "When the children of Earth, Kraxos, Zephyr, and all worlds can travel the stars as one family, we will return. Not as superiors, but as equals. That is the future Marcus Chen saw. Make it real." The predecessor vanished, but its warmth remained. Grizon's device buzzed again. "Commander Chen, we have a problem. 300 ships just jumped in, but they are not predecessor vessels." Through the windows, a familiar sight made everyone's blood freeze. The black and red ships of the pirate fleet, the same ones that had attacked before. Their leader's voice boomed through the station. "This is Admiral Vex. We heard the council is gone. The station is weak. Surrender, or we finish what we started 6 months ago." Sarah felt the fear in the room. They had just survived one crisis, and now this? But then she saw something else. Emma and Korvax holding hands. The Kraxan server standing tall. Grizon gripping his weapon with determination. Arya's form pulsing with power. They were not weak. They were united. Sarah walked to the communication panel. Her voice was calm, steady. "Admiral Vex, this is Commander Sarah Chen. You want our station?" She looked at her people. All species, standing together. "Come and take it." The pirates laughed through the comm system. "The widow wants to play soldier? You have maybe 50 small defense ships. We have 300 warriors." Sarah smiled. It was the smile of someone who had lost everything and found something better. "Arya, open channel to all frequencies." "Channel open, Commander." "This is Commander Sarah Chen of Station Nexus 7 to any ships in range. 6 months ago, pirates killed Captain Marcus Chen, defender of the innocent. Today, they return to finish the job. We stand alone, but we stand together. If you believe in justice, if you believe in protecting those who cannot protect themselves, now is the time. She closed the channel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Grison's scanner started beeping, then screaming. Then it simply gave up trying to count. Commander, you need to see this. Outside, jump gates were opening everywhere. Ships poured through. Merchant vessels, science ships, family transports, military cruisers, human ships, Kraxan ships, Zephyrian, Malthorian, even Dominion vessels. They came from every corner of the sector. A familiar voice crackled through. "This is Captain Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Force. We heard your call, Commander. The Chen family does not stand alone." Another voice. "Kraxan Merchant Fleet reporting. Captain Chen saved our children. We remember." And another. "Zephyrian Science Academy here. Today, we are all warriors." Within minutes, over 1,000 ships surrounded the station. The pirate fleet, so confident moments before, now faced an armada. Admiral Vex's voice no longer laughing. This is impossible. You are different species. You hate each other." Sarah picked up Emma with one arm and put her other hand on Korvax's shoulder. "Not anymore. We are family. And family protects each other." She looked at Arya. "Can you link all our ships? Make them fight as one?" Arya's form brightened. "With pleasure, Commander. Initiating Unity Protocol." Suddenly, every ship moved in perfect harmony, like a single organism with 1,000 parts. Admiral Vex made one last transmission. We surrender. We surrender." But Sarah was not listening to him anymore. She was looking at her daughter, at Korvax, at all the beings in the cafeteria who had stood with her. "Mommy," Emma said, "Daddy would be happy, right?" Sarah kissed her daughter's forehead. "Yes, baby. He would be very happy." The Kraxan server approached with a tray. The same tray of food from earlier, somehow still warm. "Commander, you never got to eat." Sarah laughed, really laughed for the first time in 6 months. "You know what? Let's all eat. Together." As the pirates were taken into custody and the Allied ships celebrated, something extraordinary happened in the cafeteria. Humans ate with Kraxans. Dominions shared tables with Zephyrians. Children of all species played together. But then Arya's form flickered urgently. "Commander, I am detecting something massive approaching, bigger than anything in our database." Through the windows, space itself seemed to bend. A ship emerged that dwarfed even the station. It was organic, alive, its surface covered in what looked like breathing scales. A new voice, ancient beyond measure, spoke directly into everyone's mind. "We are the Void Mothers. We have slept for eons. The predecessor's awakening has disturbed us, and we are hungry." The revelation. The Void Mother's ship pulsed like a living heart. Each beat sent waves through space that made smaller vessels spin helplessly. Its surface was not metal, but something organic, black flesh covered in eyes. Thousands of eyes, each one the size of a building, all staring at the station. "Commander," Grizon whispered, "our weapons cannot even scratch something that size." Sarah held Emma tighter. The little girl was not crying, just watching with wide eyes. Korvax stood frozen beside them. The Void Mother spoke again, its voice like ancient oceans in everyone's mind. "We slept beneath reality itself. The predecessors knew better than to wake us, but you have been so very loud." Arya's form flickered with data streams. "Commander, I am scanning. This is impossible. This creature exists in 17 dimensions simultaneously. What we see is only a fraction of its true form." "What do you want?" Sarah spoke into the communication system, her voice steady despite her fear. A sound like cosmic laughter filled their minds. "Want. Child, we are want. We are hunger given form. We existed before your stars were born. We will exist after they die. The Craxan servers' forearms trembled. The old legends. They spoke of the Eaters of Light, things that consumed entire civilizations. Not consumed, the Void Mother corrected. Collected. Would you like to see? Without waiting for an answer, the massive creature's flesh split open. Inside was not organs or machinery, but entire worlds, frozen cities floating in organic bubbles, billions of beings from countless species, perfectly preserved but unmoving. My God, someone gasped. The missing colonies, Arya said. 12 civilizations that vanished without explanation over the last 1,000 years. They are all inside the Void Mother. Sarah felt sick. You collect entire worlds? We preserve them, the Void Mother said. When the universe ends, when entropy claims everything, we will remain. And inside us, these civilizations will exist forever, unchanging, perfect, safe. That is not life, Sarah protested. That is a museum, a prison. Is it? The Void Mother asked. Look closer. The view zoomed in on one of the preserved cities. The beings there were frozen mid-motion, but their faces, they were smiling. All of them. We take them in their happiest moment, the Void Mother explained. Before war, before suffering, before loss. They live in that perfect instant for eternity. No more hunger, no more death, no more watching your loved ones die in pirate attacks. That last comment hit Sarah like a physical blow. The creature knew about Marcus. Emma suddenly spoke up. But if they are frozen, they cannot play. They cannot learn new things. They cannot grow up. The Void Mother's attention turned to the child. All 1,000 eyes focused on her. Growing up means growing old. Learning means learning about pain. Is that better, little one? Emma thought about it seriously. Yes, because I also learn about love, and friends, and how to be brave. Be like Daddy. Your daddy is dead, child. But his love is not, Emma said simply. It lives in me and Mommy and everyone he saved. That is better than being frozen. The Void Mother was silent for a long moment. Then Korvac stepped forward. You are afraid. Everyone gasped. The boy had just insulted a cosmic entity. Explain, young Dominion, the Void Mother said, its voice dangerous. You freeze things because you are afraid they will end. You are scared of change, of loss. You are more frightened than any of us. The station shook as the Void Mother's anger rippled through space. We fear nothing. Then why hide civilizations inside you? Korvac continued. Why not let them live and die naturally? Because. The Void Mother paused. For the first time, uncertainty entered its voice. Because we have seen the end. We know what comes. The death of everything. Arya suddenly blazed with light. You are not the first Void Mothers. You are the last. Your species faced extinction, so you became this. You transformed yourselves to survive the end of your universe. How could you know that? The Void Mother demanded. Because Captain Chen found your origin point, Arya said. Before he died, he discovered an ancient probe. It contained memories of your original forms. You were once like us, small, fragile, afraid. She projected an image, beings of pure beauty, delicate as glass, with wings of starlight. That was before, the Void Mother said sadly. Before we watched our universe die, before we evolved into this, we thought if we preserved others, we could prevent their suffering. Sarah stepped forward, still holding Emma. But suffering is part of life, so is joy. You cannot have one without the other. Pretty words from someone who begged for food 3 hours ago, the Void Mother replied. Yes, I begged, Sarah said. And look what happened. Enemies became friends. Strangers became family. That suffering led to something beautiful. Your preserved worlds will never know that transformation. The elderly Zephyrian elder spoke. Up. I am dying. My scales are already losing their shine. I have maybe 1 year left, but this year will be full of love, of seeing my grandson grow, of teaching him our songs. That is worth more than eternal frozen happiness. One by one, others spoke. I want to see my daughter graduate. I want to learn from my mistakes. I want to grow old with my mate. I want to see what tomorrow brings, even if it hurts. The Void Mother listened to them all. Its 1,000 eyes began to close one by one until only 2 remained open. We have been alone so long, it said. We forgot what it meant to hope for tomorrow. You do not have to be alone, Sarah said. Release the preserved worlds. Let them live. And you can learn to live again too. We cannot. This form is permanent. We are too large, too strange. No one could accept us. Emma let go of her mother's hand and walked forward. Everyone tried to stop her, but she kept going until she stood directly beneath the massive creature. She reached up her tiny hand. I accept you, she said. You are scary and weird, and you have too many eyes, but you are also sad and lonely, and nobody should be lonely. A tentacle the size of a building descended from the Void Mother. It touched Emma's hand with impossible gentleness. Little one, the Void Mother's voice broke. We had forgotten kindness. My daddy said kindness is the strongest force in the universe, Emma said. Stronger than fear, stronger than hunger, stronger than even death. The Void Mother's form began to shimmer. If we release the preserved worlds, we will have no purpose. We will be empty. No, Sarah said. You will be free, free to find a new purpose. Arya added, you could be protectors instead of collectors, guardians instead of prison wardens. The 1,000 eyes opened again, but this time they were different, brighter, hopeful. It has been so long since we hoped, the Void Mother said. We will try. The massive creature's flesh began to pulse with new patterns. One by one, the preserved worlds inside began to emerge. Cities materialized in space, protected by bubbles of energy. The frozen beings inside started to move, confused, but alive. What's happening? They asked in 100 languages. Where are we? How long were we gone? Sarah activated the station-wide communication. This is Commander Chen of Station Nexus 7. You have been freed from stasis. You were preserved by the Void Mothers, but now you are free. We will help you return home or find new homes. You are safe. The released civilizations numbered in the billions. Ships from every corner of the galaxy were arriving to help with the largest rescue operation in history. But then the Void Mother made a sound, something like crying. We are empty now. So empty. The voices that filled us for millennia are gone. Its massive form began to shrink, condensing. The 1,000 eyes merged into dozens, then just 6. When the transformation ended, the Void Mother was still huge, the size of a large ship, but no longer incomprehensible. We do not know how to be small again, it said. Emma walked up to it again. That's okay. We can teach you. Just like you can teach us about the universe. We can be friends. Friends, the Void Mother repeated the word like it was foreign. We have not had friends since our universe died. Korvax joined Emma. Our station is big. You could stay here, help us protect people instead of collecting them. The Void Mother's 6 eyes focused on the 2 children, one human, one Dominion, holding hands without fear. You would trust us? After what we did? Sarah stepped forward. My husband believed in second chances. He died believing that. Yes, we trust you. The Void Mother lowered its form until it was level with them. Then we will stay. We will learn. We will live, Jeer. Izon cleared his throat. Commander, the pirates are still in custody. What should we do with them? Sarah looked at Admiral Vex on the screen, then at the Void Mother, then at her daughter. Admiral Vex, she said, you have 2 choices. Join us in building something better, or be turned over to galactic justice. But know this, if you choose to join us, you will work to repay every life you took, starting with helping to relocate the freed civilizations. Vex's scarred face showed disbelief. You would trust pirates? I trusted a creature that collected entire worlds, Sarah replied. People can change if given the chance. Commander, Arya interrupted, I am detecting something. The predecessors are returning. Space shimmered, and the crystalline being appeared in the cafeteria. Sarah Chen, it said, you have done something we did not foresee. You have turned the Void Mother from enemy to ally. You have united species we thought would never cooperate. You have your husband's gift for seeing light in darkness. We all do, Sarah said. We just need someone to remind us sometimes. The predecessor nodded. The galaxy is changing. Old enemies becoming friends. Ancient fears being conquered. And at the center of it all, a mother who just wanted to feed her child. Emma giggled. We still haven't eaten. I'm hungry. Everyone laughed. Humans, aliens, even the Void Mother made a sound like crystalline bells. Then we feast, Sarah declared. All of us, every species, every being, even you. She looked at the predecessor and the Void Mother. Can you eat? We have not tried in millennia, both entities said simultaneously. Then today you learn, the Kraxan server said, all four arms working to prepare food. Today, everyone eats at our table. As food was prepared and shared, as former enemies sat together, as children played between the legs of cosmic entities, Arya pulled Sarah aside. Commander, there is something else. Something I found in Captain Chen's final message. Something he wanted you to see only when you were ready. Show me, Sarah said. A hologram appeared, Marcus, recorded just before his final mission. Sarah, if you are seeing this, then you have done what I knew you would. You have brought them together. You have shown them that humanity's greatest strength is not our ships or weapons, but our ability to see family and strangers, to find hope in darkness. I go to my death without fear, because I know you and Emma will build the future I can only dream of. I love you both, beyond death, beyond time. Make them all family, my love. Show them the way home. Sarah wiped her tears. Around her, the greatest gathering of species in galactic history was sharing a meal. Her daughter was teaching the Void Mother how to use a spoon. Korvax was showing the predecessor how to laugh. We did it, Marcus, she whispered. We're all family now. But then every screen in the station flashed red. A new message from beyond known space. This is the Harmony Collective. We have observed your unity. We deem it insufficient. Prepare for assimilation. Resistance is futile. The room fell silent. Sarah looked at her strange, wonderful, impossible family. Then she smiled. Well, she said, picking up Emma, who wants to show them what our family can do? The humanity, the Harmony Collective's message repeated in perfect synchronization across every speaker, not mechanical like robots, but eerily musical, thousands of voices speaking as one beautiful, terrifying chorus. We are perfection, they sang. No hunger, no conflict, no individual suffering. Join us willingly, or we will make you perfect. Through the station's windows their ship materialized, not arriving but assembling itself from space dust and starlight. It was gorgeously horrifying. A crystalline sphere that sang with the voices of billions, its surface showing the faces of every species it had absorbed, all smiling the same empty smile. Emma covered her ears. Mommy, the pretty music hurts. The Void Mother's 6 eyes narrowed. We know this song. The Harmony took 3 galaxies in our old universe. They do not collect or preserve. They erase individuality itself. How do we fight them? Greason asked, checking his weapons. You cannot fight perfect unity with weapons, the predecessor said, its form flickering with concern. They move as one, think as one. They have no weakness because they have no self. The Harmony sphere pulsed. Suddenly, half the beings in the cafeteria stopped moving. Their eyes glazed over and they spoke in unison. We feel it. The peace. No more pain. No more fear. Join us. No. Sarah grabbed the affected Zephyrian, shaking them. Fight it. Remember who you are. But more were falling. The Kraxan server's 4 arms went limp. Even some of the human officers began speaking with the Harmony's voice. Commander Chen, they all said together, your husband suffered alone. You suffered alone. In the Harmony, suffering is shared until it becomes nothing. Join us, and never feel alone again. Sarah felt the pull. The music was so beautiful, promising an end to all the pain of the last 6 months. She could stop fighting, stop struggling. Mommy! Emma's scream broke through the song. The little girl was standing on a table, her face fierce with determination. You are lying, Emma shouted at the sphere. Daddy didn't suffer alone. He had us in his heart. Mommy wasn't alone. She had me. And now we have everyone. That's real unity, not your fake song. The possessed beings wavered. Some blinked, confusion replacing the empty smiles. Korvax climbed up beside Emma. My father tried to make everyone the same, too. He said it was order, but it was just fear. You are scared of being different. The Harmony's song shifted, became discordant. Children, so much potential. Yuit, Elsing beautifully in our chorus. Tendrils of light reached for the children, but the Void Mother moved faster, its form wrapped around them protectively. No, these little ones taught us to live again. You will not have them. The Harmony laughed with a million voices. A Void Mother protecting instead of collecting? Impossible. You are broken. Let us fix you. The tendrils touched the Void Mother, and its 6 eyes began to glaze. No! Emma reached out from within the Void Mother's protection, her small hand touching one of its eyes. Remember, you are our friend. Friends don't forget each other. The Void Mother shuddered. I remember. I am myself. Its roar shattered the Harmony's hold on dozens of beings. They collapsed, free but gasping. Arya's form blazed. Commander, I understand now. The Harmony fears something specific. Imperfection, mistakes, the unpredictable chaos of individual choice. Then we give them chaos, Sarah said. She turned to everyone. Don't fight together. Fight as yourselves. Be unpredictable. Be wrong. Be gloriously, messily individual. What happened next would be remembered as the strangest battle in galactic history. Grizon started singing an off-key Dominion war ballad. The Kraxan server juggled food with 3 arms while using the 4th to paint abstract art on the walls. The Zephyrian elder began telling jokes, terrible, awful jokes that made no sense. Emma started dancing, a wild, childish dance with no rhythm. Korvax joined her, adding Dominion martial arts moves that absolutely did not match. The pirates in custody began laughing, not controlled laughter, but wild, hysterical laughter at the absurdity of it all. The predecessor, ancient and dignified, looked around and started making funny faces. Even the Void Mother began shape-shifting rapidly. 1,000 eyes, then none, then arranged in a smiley face pattern. The Harmony sphere begs, and to crack. Stop, it sang, but the perfect unity was breaking. This is chaos. This is wrong. This is... Human, Sarah said, standing tall. This is humanity, not the species, the quality, the beautiful, messy, impossible ability to be ourselves even when it hurts. She walked toward the sphere, and as she did, she remembered everything. Marcus's terrible singing in the shower, Emma's sticky hands leaving prints on everything. The way grief felt like drowning, but also like love with nowhere to go. You want to know what makes us special? Sarah asked the Harmony. We fail. We hurt. We lose everything. And we keep going anyway. Not because we're perfect, but because we're not. The sphere's surface showed billions of absorbed faces, all perfect, all the same. Look at them, Sarah said softly. You didn't unite them. You erased them. Real unity keeps the differences and chooses to love anyway. One face in the sphere moved differently from the others, then another, then hundreds. "We," a single voice said from within the harmony. I remember my name." The sphere cracked more. Voices began speaking individually. "I was Telex of Andromeda. I was Sarah 9 of Earth Colony 7. I had a daughter. I liked to paint. I was afraid of the dark. I loved to sing, badly." The harmony shrieked, "No, we are perfection. We are unity." "You are fear," the Void Mother said, its form stabilizing. "Fear of being alone. Fear of being rejected. We knew that fear. But these little ones taught us, being alone sometimes makes finding others more beautiful." Emma walked right up to the cracking sphere. "It's okay to be scared. Everyone is scared sometimes. But that's why we have friends and family, to be scared together and brave together." The sphere shattered completely. But instead of destruction, there was liberation. Billions of beings poured out, not as invaders, but as confused, frightened individuals who had been trapped in forced unity for centuries. They gasped, cried, laughed, screamed, the full range of suppressed emotions flooding back. At the center of them all was the original harmony, not a collective but a single small creature. It looked like a drop of living starlight, beautiful but trembling. It spoke with one voice, its own voice, for the first time in eons. "I was so lonely. My species died. I was the last. I thought if I absorbed others, I would never be alone again." Sarah knelt beside it. "What's your name? Your real name?" I don't remember. It's been so long." Emma sat down cross-legged next to the creature. "That's okay. You can choose a new one. I help name things all the time. Mr. Fluffy, the attack drone. Princess Sparkles, the maintenance bot." Despite everything, the creature made a sound like laughter. "Those are terrible names." "See," Emma grinned. "You have opinions. That means you're you again." The liberated billions were confused, scared, angry. Some had been absorbed for so long they didn't remember their homes. Where do we go? Who are we now? How do we live as individuals? Sarah stood, addressing them all. "You start by choosing, one choice at a time, what to eat, where to sit, who to talk to, and we'll help, all of us." Admiral Vex and his pirates stepped forward. "We know about being lost and making wrong choices. Let us help guide them. It's what Captain Chen would do." The predecessor nodded. "We will help restore their memories, their cultures." The Void Mother added, "We preserved some of their original worlds before the Harmony took them. We can return those memories." Over the next hours, the station became a massive rehabilitation center, billions of beings relearning how to be individuals. It was chaos, beautiful, difficult, necessary chaos. The small Harmony creature stayed near Emma and Korvax, slowly remembering how to have preferences. It liked sweet foods, but not sour. It enjoyed earth music, but found Dominion drums too loud. "I think," it said finally, "I want my name to be Solo, because I'm learning to be okay with being singular." Sarah watched it all. Former enemies helping confused strangers, children teaching ancient beings how to play, the universe itself learning to embrace imperfection. Arya materialized beside her. "Commander, you've changed everything. The galaxy will never be the same." "Good," Sarah said. "Perfect was never the goal. Better is enough." As the day turned to night cycle, thousands of beings sat together in the Great Hall, not in perfect harmony, but in chosen community. Some sang different songs, some sat in comfortable silence, some argued about trivial things. It was messy. It was imperfect. It was absolutely beautiful. Solo, the former Harmony, floated near the ceiling, its light dim with exhaustion but peaceful. I was perfect for so long, but this feeling of choosing, of maybe being wrong, it's terrifying and wonderful. Emma yawned, cuddled between her mother and Korvax. That's called being alive. The Void Mother had shaped itself into something like a giant cushion, letting hundreds of tired beings rest on its form. We lived through the death of our universe, but today, we learned to live in this one. Sarah was about to respond when every surface in the station turned mirror bright. Their own reflections stared back, but something was wrong. The reflections were moving independently. One reflection, Sarah's own, stepped out of the mirror into the room. It was her, but different, colder, wearing an admiral's uniform, no warmth in its eyes. "Hello, Sarah," the other Sarah said. "We are the Mirror Fleet, the dark possibilities. Every choice you didn't make, we did. Every mercy you showed, we didn't. And we've come to show you the price of your weakness." Around the room, dark versions of everyone began stepping through. A cruel Emma, a tyrannical Korvax, a destructive Void Mother. The other Sarah smiled coldly. "You saved the galaxy through kindness? How quaint. We conquered ours through strength. Now we've come for yours." Real Emma looked at her dark twin, a child with dead eyes and a crown of black stars. "You look sad," Real Emma said. Dark Emma laughed, but it was hollow. "I'm not sad. I'm powerful. I rule entire systems." "But do you have friends?" The dark child's expression flickered. "I don't need friends. I have subjects." Real Emma stood up, walked over to her dark self, and held out her hand. "Want to be friends anyway?" The dark versions all stepped back in shock. Real Sarah stood, facing her darker self. "You came to show us the price of kindness? Then let us show you the price of cruelty." She gestured around the room, at the United Species, the reformed pirates, the healed Harmony, the protective Void Mother. "This is what you missed. This is what your strength cost you." Dark Sarah's cold expression cracked just slightly. We won everything," Dark Sarah said, but uncertainty crept into her voice. "Did you?" Real Sarah asked. "Or did you just end up alone at the top?" The triumph. Dark Sarah's hand moved to her weapon. "Enough philosophy. We came here to take what you're too weak to hold." But as she drew her gun, her hand trembled. In the mirror surface behind her, another reflection appeared. Not dark, but broken. A Sarah who had won everything, but lost herself. "You're not here to conquer," Real Sarah said quietly. "You're here because you're desperate. Your universe is dying, isn't it?" Dark Sarah's weapon lowered slightly. Around the room, the other dark versions shifted uncomfortably. Dark Emma stepped forward, her crown of black stars flickering. "Mommy, I'm tired. The stars are going out, even the ones I caught." Dark Sarah's mask finally cracked. "Quiet, child. Show no weakness." "But I'm scared," Dark Emma whispered. "Everyone we ruled is gone. We're the only ones left." The Void Mother's 6 eyes widened with ancient recognition. "Entropy. You conquered so completely that you accelerated your universe's death. With no diversity, no chaos, no imperfection, your reality is collapsing into nothing." Dark Korvax, wearing armor made of frozen screams, spoke for the first time. "We won every battle, crushed every enemy, achieved perfect order, and now we rule over nothing but ashes and echoes." Real Korvax approached his dark self carefully. "You became what my father wanted, and look where it led." "We had no choice," Dark Korvax snarled. "When the humans showed mercy, we showed strength. When they united species, we enslaved them. We did what was necessary." "Necessary for what?" Real Korvax asked. "To be alone forever?" Arya's form pulsed with data streams. "Commander, I'm detecting something. Their universe isn't just dying, it's already dead. They're not really here. They're echoes, quantum ghosts bleeding through from a collapsed reality." Dark Sarah laughed bitterly. Ghosts. Yes. We're the ghosts of every cruel choice, every abandoned mercy, every time strength seemed easier than kindness. Solo, the former harmony, floated forward, its light gentle. I understand. You did what I did, tried to force unity through power. But forced unity is just elaborate loneliness. Dark Sarah turned to real Sarah, and for the first time tears ran down her cold face. We can't go back. Our universe is gone. We destroyed it with our victories. Then stay, real Sarah said, shocking everyone. What? Both versions of Emma said simultaneously. Sarah walked to her dark self. You're us if we had chosen differently. Every being here has darkness, choices we didn't make, paths we didn't take. But that's what makes us whole, light and shadow together. The predecessor's crystalline form brightened. Impossible. Quantum echoes cannot merge with their prime selves. The paradox would what? Sarah interrupted. Destroy reality? Look around. We have former enemies as family, a void mother as protector, pirates as helpers. We've been doing the impossible all day. She held out her hand to Dark Sarah. You're not our enemies. You're our warnings, our reminder of what we could become. Stay and help us remember why we chose differently. Dark Sarah stared at the offered hand. You would trust us? We who conquered galaxies? My husband trusted his killer's son, Sarah said, glancing at Korvax. That worked out pretty well. Dark Emma tugged at her mother's armor. Mommy, I want to try. I want to learn how to play instead of rule. The room held its breath as Dark Sarah slowly, hesitantly, took real Sarah's hand. The moment they touched, light exploded through the station. Not painful, but warm. The dark versions didn't disappear. They began to merge, not replacing, but complementing their other selves. Real and dark. Emma hugged, and suddenly Emma had memories of both kindness and strength, mercy and determination. Real and dark Korvax clasped hands, and Korvax understood both the power of authority and the strength of compassion. All around the room, beings were reuniting with their shadow selves, becoming complete. But Dark Sarah pulled back at the last moment. Wait, if we merge, you'll have our memories. You'll know what it feels like to destroy worlds, to rule through fear. And you'll know what it feels like to save them through love, real Sarah replied. That's the point. We need both perspectives to be truly wise. They joined hands again, and Sarah gasped as millennia of dark memories flooded in. Conquests, cruelty, the cold satisfaction of absolute power, but also the loneliness, the regret, the hollow view. Victories. When it was over, Sarah stood changed. Her eyes held new depth, knowledge of darkness that made her choice of light more meaningful. I remember, she whispered. I remember destroying the Kraxan homeworld in your timeline. I remember... She turned to the Kraxan server. I'm so sorry. The Kraxan server's 4 arms embraced her. That wasn't you. That was who you chose not to be. The fact that you feel that pain means you chose correctly. Emma, now containing both versions of herself, looked at her hands with wonder. Mommy, I know so much now, good things and bad things. How do I choose which to be? That's the gift, baby, Sarah said, kneeling beside her. You get to choose every day, and now you know the cost of both choices. Suddenly, the station's alarms blared, but not warning alarms, celebration fanfares. Arya's form exploded with light. Commander, something's happening across the galaxy. The merger didn't just affect you. Every being everywhere is reconnecting with their shadow selves. The barriers between possible timelines are dissolving. Through the windows, space itself was changing. Stars that had died in one timeline flickered back to life. Destroyed worlds reformed from quantum possibility. The galaxy was healing itself by accepting all its possibilities. The predecessor gasped, an ancient being showing surprise. The great integration. We theorized it, but never thought. You've triggered the evolution of reality itself. The Void Mother's form shifted with excitement. We see it. All timelines converging not into one, but into conscious choice. Every being now carries the knowledge of all their possible selves. Admiral Vex staggered as his own integration completed. I remember. In another timeline I was a teacher. In another, a healer. I chose piracy, but now I know why and what it cost. All across the station, beings were crying, laughing, embracing as they became whole. Former enemies remembered timelines where they were family. Former friends remembered timelines where they were enemies. And with that knowledge came wisdom. Solo, the former harmony, glowed brighter. I understand now. True unity isn't sameness. It's choosing to be together despite knowing all the ways we could be apart. But then something unexpected happened. Space above the station tore open. Not violently, but gently, like a curtain being pulled back. Through the opening stepped Marcus Chen. But not just one Marcus. Hundreds of versions. Marcus who survived. Marcus who became a tyrant. Marcus who chose peace. Marcus who chose war. All the possibilities that never were. They spoke in unison, but not like the harmony. Each voice was distinct, choosing to harmonize. Sarah, Emma, my loves across all timelines. Sarah couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Marcus? How? The integration, all versions said. Death is just another possibility. In merging all timelines, you've created something new. A reality where all possibilities exist simultaneously, but choice still matters. One Marcus stepped forward, her Marcus, the one who died saving others. I'm still dead in this timeline. That hasn't changed. But death doesn't mean gone anymore. It means transformed. Emma ran forward, passing right through him, then turned with tears. Daddy, you're like a ghost? More like a memory with consciousness, Marcus said gently. I can't stay, can't live with you, but I can visit. All the departed can, now that the barriers are thin. Around the station, other quantum ghosts appeared. Lost loved ones, fallen heroes, even former enemies. Not returning to life, but visiting, sharing wisdom, saying the goodbyes they never could. Thrax appeared before Korvax, not the cruel leader, but a merged version carrying all his possibilities. My son, in some timelines I was a good father, in others, terrible. Now I know both. I cannot undo my choices, but I can tell you, you chose better than I ever could. Korvax hugged his quantum father, tears streaming. I forgive you, all versions of you. The station had become a nexus point where all possibilities touched. It was beautiful and heartbreaking, chaos and order in perfect balance. But then the predecessors, not just one, but thousands from all timelines, materialized. They spoke with grave urgency. The integration is not complete. Reality is still choosing what it will become. And there are forces that want to tip that choice toward darkness. As if summoned by their words, the space outside erupted with ships. But these weren't from any timeline. They were from between timelines. Non-beings that existed in the spaces between possibilities. They spoke with voices that weren't voices. We are the null. We exist in the gaps between choices. And we prefer the gap to grow until all choice becomes meaningless. Sarah stood, still reeling from seeing Marcus, but knowing she had to lead. Everyone, prepare for— No, Emma interrupted, stepping forward. The little girl who had started this by asking for food now stood with the wisdom of all her possibilities. We don't fight them, Emma said. We invite them in. Everyone stared at her in shock. Emma smiled, a smile containing infinite kindness and infinite strength. They exist between choices because they're afraid to choose. Just like the harmony was afraid to be alone. Just like the void mothers were afraid of endings. Just like the dark versions were afraid of weakness. She walked toward the approaching null. You don't have to stay in between anymore. You can choose to be. The null paused, their non-forms writhing with uncertainty. To choose is to exclude other possibilities. To be is to not be everything else. Yes, Emma said simply, and that's beautiful, because then your choice matters. Your existence means something. Sarah watched her daughter with wonder. This little girl who had been starving just hours ago was now teaching entities older than time itself. Tell us, Emma continued, what would you choose to be if you could? The null writhed more. Then one spoke alone. I would choose to be curious, to wonder, to learn. Then be that, Emma said, holding out her hand. The single null reached out with something that wasn't quite a tentacle, wasn't quite light, wasn't quite anything, and touched Emma's hand. In that moment, it became not human, not alien, but something new, a being of pure curiosity, shimmering with questions. I am, it said with wonder. I chose, and now I am. One by one, other null began choosing. Some became beings of music, others of mathematics, others of emotion. Each choice was different, each existence unique. Sarah felt Marcus's presence beside her. Our daughter is teaching the universe how to exist. She learned from you, Sarah said, the man who chose to save everyone. And from you, Marcus replied, the woman who chose to unite them after. As the last null made its choice, reality itself seemed to sigh with relief. The integration was complete. All timelines existed simultaneously, but distinct. Choice mattered more than ever because now everyone knew all the possibilities they were choosing between. Arya materialized, her form now solid and radiant. Commander, the galaxy has fundamentally changed. Every being now carries the wisdom of all their possibilities. War is not impossible, but it's much harder when everyone knows what peace could be. Cruelty exists, but so does the memory of kindness. Sarah nodded, exhausted but hopeful. And the station? Is now the permanent nexus between all possibilities, the crossroads of choice itself. The Craxon server approached with impossibly a tray of still warm food. Commander, you never did get to eat. Sarah laughed, really laughed. After everything, the starvation, the begging, the battles with entities beyond comprehension, it came back to a simple meal. You know what? She said, gathering Emma into her arms. Let's all eat. Every version of everyone. The living, the quantum ghosts, the former null, everyone. And so they did. In the Great Hall of Station Nexus 7, every possible version of every being shared a meal. Marcus's quantum ghost couldn't eat but sat with his family, sharing stories of timelines where things went differently. The null turned curious, asked endless questions about taste. The merged dark version slowly learned to laugh without cruelty. Emma, exhausted from saving reality, fell asleep in her mother's lap. As she dozed, she mumbled, "Mommy, did we do good?" Sarah kissed her daughter's forehead. "We did, baby. We really did." The void mother, now permanently the station's guardian, hummed contentedly. We have lived through the death of one universe and the birth of another, this new reality, where all possibilities exist but choice still matters. It is better than anything we imagined. Solo floated near the ceiling, its light peaceful. I was perfect unity. Now I am imperfect but chosen community. The second is infinitely better. As the meal ended and beings began to disperse, some to explore their new merged selves, others to revisit quantum ghosts of loved ones, the predecessor approached Sarah. "You have done something we never could," it said. "You didn't choose between order and chaos, unity and individuality, light and dark. You chose both, and made them work together." "I didn't do it," Sarah said. "We all did. Every choice, every act of kindness, every moment of courage from everyone here." Marcus's ghost flickered, preparing to fade. I have to go. The quantum states can't hold forever. But Sarah, Emma, I'm so proud of you both. Will we see you again? Emma asked sleepily. Every time you choose kindness over cruelty, unity over division, hope over fear, I'm there in that choice, Marcus said. Death isn't the end anymore. It's just another beginning. As he faded, he whispered one last thing. Thank you for showing the universe what humanity really means. The station settled into its new role as the nexus of all possibilities. Ships arrived from every timeline, every potential reality, seeking wisdom, seeking choice, seeking hope. And at the center of it all, a mother and daughter who had started with nothing but hunger and ended with everything, not through conquest, but through the simple act of asking for help and choosing to share even when they had nothing. Emma opened her eyes and smiled. Mommy, I'm hungry again. Sarah laughed. Then let's get you some food. And this time, we don't have to beg. No, Emma said wisely. Now we share, with everyone, forever. As they walked to the cafeteria, hand in hand, the station pulsed with the heartbeat of a new reality. One where every being carried all possibilities within them, where choice mattered more than ever, and where a simple act of kindness could reshape existence itself. The story of the mother who begged for scraps had become the legend of the family that fed the universe's soul. And in every timeline, in every possibility, the message echoed. Humanity isn't a species, it's a choice, and that choice can save everything.